So we did a survey asking marketers what their number one struggle was, and it wasn't social media, content, or leads. It was proving return on investment. Welcome back to another episode of CREview. I'm Josh. I'm here with Dill, and today we're breaking down why it is so difficult to prove return on investment in commercial real estate and 5 key ways you can actually go about doing it.
Yeah, so we had a client that was really struggling in terms of how to show a return on investment for their leadership team, which wanted to understand like what was marketing actually contributing to this company. And they had a really difficult time in producing an actual number for that return. But once we kind of got involved, we showed them the ways that we're going to show you in this podcast. Once we kind of connected all of those dots, suddenly marketing then got a seat at the table, and leadership took it a lot more seriously because they could actually see the attribution between what marketing was doing and the revenue that it was generating. So that's the idea of what we want to do today from a how to go about fixing it. Because of the results that we saw in the survey, it was pretty eye-opening to us. And obviously we've known it's like a bit of an issue for a while, but it's really important that marketing is able to prove return on its investment, because that makes it better for all of us, but it makes it better for the sales team, the leasing team, the brokers, etc.
So, I mean, like looking at the results from the survey, I mean, this is commercial real estate marketing specific.
Yeah.
Why do you think it is so much harder to prove return on investment in commercial real estate as opposed to other industries that seem to be doing it perfectly fine?
Look, I don't think every industry does it perfectly fine. I think there's always difficulties in ROI and proving that. But in commercial real estate, from a marketing point of view, it's tough because sales cycles are generally quite long. Unless you're moving through small leasing spaces, or it's a tech company with a very low barrier to entry for their platform, generally the sales cycles are long. So it's hard when there's so much going on to ultimately attribute that final revenue to what marketing did maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that becomes, there's so many different stakeholders involved in this process that when it comes to, what was marketing's role in all of this, it becomes a little blurry. A lot of the times, a lot of firms don't use proper CRMs. They don't have actual CRMs in place that are able to track the attribution model. And what I mean by attribution is really, if someone clicks on a marketing ad or a marketing email, etc., and the sales team closes a deal worth $1 million, how do you attribute that lead that you got from the marketing source all the way through to that closed deal? That's the attribution that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And there are a bunch of ways that we can do that. And if you don't have them in place, it makes it much harder for the marketing team to prove that it was them that brought that lead in. So they should get attributed to that sale, that revenue. So that's why it becomes quite difficult within commercial real estate to do that.
I also think the factor of, I think, marketing in commercial real estate is often attributed to like the marketing materials and like maybe it's like, say, out of home, or like what you're physically seeing, and not so much the processes that like an agency would have, where it's tracking, like using a CRM and those things. That it's often the role that's filled by like a marketing assistant, which is probably often a junior person or maybe a small team, as opposed to like where we have like departments that play that role. It's a deeper level of marketing than commercial real estate still maybe, or is getting to the point where they're starting to value that more, but for the most part,
I agree,
don't have that in place.
I agree. I think most commercial real estate, smaller firms, don't have a big marketing department. It's usually 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
And
therefore, like they don't have the resources to be able to
they're doing they're doing
all
so
of
much already.
Yeah.
They're probably organizing events, they're doing all the emails, they're doing all the marketing collateral, they're doing flyers, they're doing all of that stuff. And now you've got to like start figuring out your CRM system and how you're attributing this lead to that broker. Is really it's a daunting task for a small team. So I think what I want to try and help with in this episode is like 5 ways that we can show very clearly what you need to do. Like if this is becoming an issue, if you're a small team and the company's super happy with marketing and they're still giving you good budgets, lekker, no problem.
Yeah.
But if it's becoming an issue, then showing return on investment, showing ROI and proving it is going to help you grow your team. It's going to help you get more resources. It's going to help you get bigger budgets. You can potentially hire someone else. So if you're not showing that stuff, then your life is going to be more difficult, basically. Yeah. Like it's the ultimate goal.
Would you say that that's the cost of not being able to prove return on investment?
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably like delve into a bunch of things, but the cost of not doing that is really like you're going to become a cost center in that, you're not going to be a revenue driver. Yeah. No one's going to look at marketing as a revenue driver, which you might well be.
Yeah.
But you can't attribute it to yourself. So you're just seen as like a bottomless pit where they throw money and they don't ever see a return on that investment.
Meanwhile,
you're probably bringing in all the leads, or you're at least building the brand to a place where everyone has heard about you. So you've built the trust, and that's why people are interacting with your brokers. But if you aren't able to close those gaps, then you're not going to be taken seriously.
Yeah, you're not going to get the recognition. No one's going to know that you actually played a vital role.
You're not going to get a seat at the table.
So what makes commercial real estate unique, when you compare to like a SaaS or e-commerce?
Yeah. It's, like, I don't know if it's unique, super unique, but it is like SaaS platforms and tech and e-commerce specifically have much shorter sales cycles. Like we did touch on this, but they've got much shorter sales cycles, so much easier to attribute, especially with e-commerce and tech, because the lead comes directly from the website, and it goes directly through into the pipeline. Especially if it's a demo, if it's a SaaS product, so it's much easier to see. Okay, cool. Like we ran that ad, those guys filled that in. They got a demo. It's a much quicker process. And like I said earlier, the CRE sales cycle, a lot of the time it's relationship driven, So you might have a broker might have a relationship with someone in their book, and they might not be ready when the broker reaches out, but then they're going to see some marketing collateral down the road that your marketing team has been putting out. And then again, be reminded, hey, like I remember speaking to that guy. He was awesome. I really like that company. And then he reaches out again because he's already dealt with that broker, and the relationship carries on from there. But that's never attributed to the marketing.
Yeah.
Even though marketing has pulled him back into that sales cycle, there's no attribution to show that. That's why it becomes really, really difficult. And so those are the challenges that we're dealing with. And there's no perfect way to solve attribution. And that's not necessarily what this podcast is about. It is a big part of it. And I remember speaking to this was a few years ago now. And when I was still at Ogilvy, and I was at a conference, and I remember asking this question to the CEO of McCann Worldwide. The CEO of Publicis Worldwide. Okay. And I said, how are we going to solve the attribution model? And he basically said, I don't think we ever will, but if we do, China will do it. And I thought that was quite interesting, because I feel like the Chinese, they do figure these things out, but still no one has properly sorted out that attribution model. So
do you think CRE marketing assistants are set up to fail with the way things are at the moment in terms of proving return on investment?
I think a little bit. I don't think it's intentional. I don't think that marketing is intentionally set up to fail, but I do think that marketing is often siloed and kept quite apart from sales and leasing and the brokers.
Yeah, you always say, well, you have been lately, it's just that, you need to get that unagi of sales and marketing.
Kumbaya together.
Yes, yeah.
And
I think in our last episode, we said they need to go on a sales
retreat.
Like a retreat.
Or sales and marketing, like little retreat, and team building.
Yeah.
To get
a little drunk and
get
to know each other.
Yeah. Because I'm not going to go into all of that, but I've often found that that's the case where marketing is treated very differently to sales, and marketing is assistants, especially like we said, if they don't have big teams, they're often left reporting on, impressions and clicks and these vanity metrics, because
which is fluff. It's like
those
fluffy.
It's fluff, and because it's easy to report on that stuff. It's easy to, as a marketing,
surface level.
It's very surface level, and like if you haven't put in the structures, that's all you can really report on. Yes, you can report on a lead, but I often think it's probably more important that marketing and sales have their own dashboard, like as one. They become one, that pipeline dashboard. So what marketing is doing is seen by everyone, and what sales is doing is seen by everyone, and you can start to marry the two together. So I do think they're often set up to fail in that way, I guess.
In that sense, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think brokers see return on investment differently than marketers?
Because brokers, it's pretty black and white, which is nice.
Deal or no deal.
You close or you don't close. The revenue's there or it's not there. Whereas marketing, it's like you're looking for return on investment, but then there's like, what's the contribution to this pipeline, and what engagements are you getting on your content, and there's all these different factors that go into it. And like we said, that lead could come in 6 months later based on all this marketing that these people have seen, but then they just call a broker because they know them. And then, they're treated, it's treated very differently.
Yeah.
So it's far more black and white for brokers and sales teams. Yeah. It's not to say it's easier. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm not saying it's easier, but from a return on investment and proving that ROI is much easier to see.
Yeah. It's almost like looking at like a post-match of like a soccer team, and you got your strikers. They either scored or they didn't. They either closed or they didn't.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the midfield.
Yeah.
Where
that's like your marketing, because
and the midfield is marketing, and it's like, cool. Well, remember when I passed that ball to you like 3 other people ago? That did lead up to you scoring that goal.
Yeah.
But you just kind of there.
Yeah, we got the assist, but who cares about who gets the assist?
Yeah.
And it's not to say like everyone, that whole team works together, and it's a really good analogy. It's a nice metaphor, because that is the way it should be. Marketing is passing through to the brokers, and they're scoring. That's the goal, right? We're trying to put the ball through so that they can score.
Yeah.
But no one remembers the guys that are assisting, unless you play fantasy Premier League like I do. I need those guys that are assisting.
Or you actually then post-match analyzing your game with your team and seeing how everyone helped each other.
That guy in the midfield, he put through 3 unbelievable crosses that should have been goals. They should have been closed deals. Do you know what I mean?
Actually, it's not.
And that guy's working really well.
Yeah.
And that
he's assisting perfectly fine.
That could be like your Google search, or that could be your email marketing.
Yeah.
Or, so, and that's putting through some really good balls to those strikers sales team, and they're scoring. So that's like, cool. That's the channel. We need to keep going through there. And then you're starting to attribute, right? It's like, cool, that guy's good. But getting that data, you need to get that data into a CRM. You need to be tracking it.
Yeah, it doesn't just happen.
The company can see. Without that assist, without that midfield, without that marketing, that guy is not going to get as many chances to score. And that's the way we want to think about this.
Yeah.
Great metaphor.
Let's talk about some of the common mistakes you see with, proving return on investment. What are ones that you see? I
think some common mistakes that marketers make is they get too markety. We get too involved in jargon and acronyms. I hate acronyms. Like, don't overcomplicate things. Don't overcomplicate your reporting and your dashboards. Keep the numbers simple.
I mean, we've learned that, like firsthand. I mean, we've had times where we've had complicated dashboards where we're like, this is actually way too deep. How do we make this a lot easier to understand for, you know, everyone to then be able to look and be like, okay, cool. It's simple. It has all the main things.
But like understand the level of the people that you're going to be reporting to. You know what I mean? Because if they're not super marketing inclined, they're not going to want to see that level of detail. You might want to just keep it quite high level. But if they are ex-marketers and they're super keen on it, like show them what they need to see. You know, that might help paint a bigger picture. But a big one is not defining what success looks like at the beginning of a campaign. So it's going out with a campaign and at the end you get all these results and you're like, did this do well or not?
Yeah.
Because you haven't defined what success looks like. Like how many leads do we want to get? How much do we want to spend? What is the cost per lead going to be? All of those things. Because once you understand that, to say like, and it gets signed off, then to go back and say, hey, we beat all of these, that's already going to start helping your case.
Yeah. Clear targets, you know.
Clear targets, no jargon, lose the marketing acronyms, and then vanity metrics. Like vanity metrics are just a way to make yourself feel better about things. They don't necessarily end up in revenue.
Yeah. What do you think the most common vanity metric
impressions.
is? Impressions.
Hate impressions.
Yeah.
Like I detest impressions because the platforms themselves are liars.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to make you happy with the money that you spent. So
LinkedIn loves a little like this post got X amount of impressions, but it's like
in the game.
Cool. Well, no one like messaged me or
4 million people saw it, but no one interacted. So impressions for me are just the biggest waste of time. I think it's good to understand like that you reached the right audience. So if you've got a lot of impressions, go check who it actually reached.
Yeah.
Is it reaching your ideal customer profile? But, you know, likes can generate some. There's a bit of engagement, I guess. But
my worst is views.
Yeah, no, views as well.
I think it looks good, but it's like, you know, when it comes down to like bottom line.
Brass tacks, what does it mean?
Yeah.
It's a vanity. It doesn't. And it, you know, things like that, they look good, but they don't change the deal. They don't increase revenue really. Obviously you've got to reach those people, but
X amount.
You need to be reporting on the real juice. And we'll talk about what that is. Yeah.
Have you seen any reporting mistakes that in your opinion have damaged credibility?
I think bad reporting damages credibility. I do. I think it's actually a bigger deal than you think.
And that's credibility for
the marketing team. Yeah, I think it hurts your credibility if you aren't reporting in the way that the people that you're reporting to need information. Most of the time, the people that you're reporting to only want to understand dollar value. How is this increasing our bottom line? How much are we making? How much are we losing? That's what we need to show. That's what they care about. If you're reporting to your CFO, he doesn't care about clicks. He doesn't care about how many people you reached.
Yeah.
Like how many deals did you close? Like how many deals did marketing help close? Like I want to see the dollar attribution to the $2,000 we spent on that ad campaign. How much money did it produce? How much money is it going to produce?
And most people,
based on the amount of leads that it's brought in.
Most people won't know how to. How do you trace that back
to
dollar value?
We are going to tell you how to do that when we get into the next section.
Yeah.
But first,
just a quick pause before we get into the how. Please like, share, subscribe, send this to someone in your team.
There are a ton of people that are watching these videos that haven't subscribed, which is fine.
Yeah.
But please like and subscribe.
Yeah.
It really helps the channel. It helps us bring like no BS insights into commercial real estate marketing. I think there's a lot of BS stuff out there, and
in that same breath,
we got to just tell it how it is.
In that same breath, it also helps us then take those metrics and prove
some ROI.
Return on investment for this podcast.
As you can see with the new set.
Yeah. Shout out Sky.
Yeah.
So this is the moment you guys are all waiting for. Let's talk about...
Sorry it took so long.
Let's talk about how you can actually prove return on investment.
Okay, so I'm going to go through the 5 proven ways. Like I have to... There's a lot here, so I just need to get it all out correctly. But these are 5 ways that we help teams actually prove return on investment for leadership. So the first one is that you want to be focusing on 3 core metrics. And those core metrics are your leads generated. So when we say MQL, so marketing qualified leads, pipeline, the contribution to the pipeline that you're bringing in, and the closed deals that are attributed. So those are the 3 core metrics. Okay. So the first one is leads generated, and that is how many qualified leads are coming through marketing that are being handed over to the leasing team, the sales team, the broker. So think of it as an example. You're running a campaign on Google search or LinkedIn. It generates 25 leads. So whether they're form fills or people are clicking the button and reaching out to a team member, and those might be from retail tenants that are looking for a space to lease. So let's say you're getting 25 of those leads. Those are the MQLs that are really, really important for you to be reporting on. Then going into the pipeline contribution within those 3 core metrics, of those leads, how many of them turned into opportunities in the CRM? So the leads go into your CRM, you're putting them into your HubSpot or Salesforce or your spreadsheet, if you're using Excel. How many of those leads, those cold leads that have come in from campaigns or whatever marketing, are turning into opportunities within your sales team or your leasing team, etc.? And what is the value that you're attributing to those leads? So an example, let's say of those 25 leads, they equaled, like, as a total, we could say, let's say $15 million. Okay.
Yeah. Let's say, like,
in the potential lease value.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So let's say it's
Sticking with that retail space.
Yeah. Potential value of those leads is $15 million because it's 25 leads have come in for that property, or multiple properties within, the campaign.
Yeah.
That's the potential lease value that gets added to that pipeline. Okay. So you're now starting to already attribute numbers to the leads that have come in.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the third one is how many of those deals closed and were attributed to marketing. So how many can be traced back to the marketing, the Google campaign or the LinkedIn campaign that was run through that leasing campaign. So an example, let's say of those 25 leads that came in, 3 of those deals closed. Okay. And those were attributed to the Google ads campaign that you were running from a marketing point of view. And the worth, what those 3 closed deals are worth is $4.2 million, let's say, in annualized rent. So now you know that the money that you've put into that ad campaign has a real monetary value that has come out of it. So let's say you ran that campaign, it cost you $5,000. Of the $5,000 that you put in, 3 deals closed, and the revenue generated from those deals was $4.2 million. Now, the broker, the sales team, has closed those deals, but they are attributed back to sales because they would never have had those leads if it wasn't for your marketing campaign. Okay, so...
I mean, like, what? Majority of marketing teams in commercial real estate aren't.
Well, yeah, I don't know if they are or aren't doing that. I think if you're starting to focus on those 3 core metrics, and that's what you're showing leadership, and that's what you're showing, the leaders of the company, I think you're doing better than most marketing teams out there. The second thing that in order to actually prove our ROI is using a simplified funnel framework. So when I say that, commercial real estate deals can be very, very complex, and the framework that you present to C-suite, to the leaders, it needs to be simple enough that they are able to follow it. So the framework really works around awareness, as you would have in any normal funnel, the engagement from that awareness, that engagement moves into a conversion, and then finally that deal. Okay, so funnel, great. The awareness is how many people is that campaign reaching, and are they the right people? Then you want to show how many people within that have seen that have interacted with it. So you're now you're telling the story quite nicely. This many people interacted. They clicked on the email, they downloaded the resource, they attended a webinar. Those are really good signs, okay, from an engagement point of view. Then you want to show those conversions. So how many leads came from that, and how many of them were passed to sales? So anyone who signed up for the webinar or downloaded the materials becomes a lead that gets handed over.
Yeah.
What has happened to those? Because we want to then see what deals were closed. So closed revenue that were attributed to those leads. So it's basically a property funnel, you know. So that's your basic frame. Like that's the second thing that you need to be showing. So you have your 3 core metrics that is what they want to see. But then you're telling the story from a funnel point of view. Okay. So awareness, engagement, conversion, deals. It's simple. It's easy. Everyone understands it. And then the third thing that is really important, the third of the 5, is making sure that early on in the process, you're aligning marketing and sales. And so that's incredibly important. So marketing and sales, leasing, broker need to be aligned really, really early on. The number one gap in commercial real estate is that marketing and sales don't always agree on what a lead is and what is a good lead. So you want to, before launching any campaign, you want to be asking the sales team, what does a qualified lead look like to you?
Yeah.
Tell me what the quality is that you're looking for. And as a marketing team, we're going to do our best to go and try and find those for you. Okay. You can then build a dashboard that marketing and sales, broker, leasing can see together. So it's all in the same pipeline, so that everything is in one place. There's not a marketing dashboard and there's not a sales dashboard, and they don't speak to each other. They need to be as one.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about more and more, right?
Yeah. I mean, like you can even equate to, like, you know, say, take our company, for example, and you've got the different departments, and, ultimately we're all working to grow the business and like grow ourselves within the business. But if we don't know what those business objectives are, we're all working like towards different things. I might assume that it's this, it's X, and, yours is Y. And, if it's like short term, it's not much of a deal. Like, I might get more flack at work or something, but I mean, like long term,
giving you flack.
long term, it ultimately stunts the business itself.
Yeah. You've got to be you all want to be telling the same story.
Yeah.
You all want to have the same. If anyone in the street asks you, you kind of want to give a similar answer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the vibe. And it's also about getting feedback. So you all want to be reporting in the same place and on the same pipeline and the same dashboard. But then you also want brokers to tell marketing which leads that they're getting are high quality ones. So you need that feedback. You need to be meeting once a week.
And also, even if they maybe a lot of them are those leads are bad.
That's it. You need that feedback. But I mean, they're hopefully going to tell you if they're bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't tell you if they're good, which is wild to me. But often,
they want
there's
glory for themselves.
Shouting match when the leads are bad.
Yeah.
But then when the leads are good, we don't, like, often marketing doesn't get that feedback and that insight, which is so important because that helps us understand what's working and what isn't, and which one, what content and what platforms and the audience is engaging with most, and that we can then put, we can optimize and put more money into those and come up with more content for them. So that feedback loop is incredibly important.
I think it's like a sales win is a marketing win.
Of course.
And,
and vice versa.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So number 3, align early with brokers and sales and marketing. Like, make sure you're all aligned in the beginning. Okay, then the fourth one of the 5 is just starting small with lightweight tools. Like, we're not expecting, like, don't go out there trying to, don't spend a fortune on Salesforce if you don't need it.
Yeah. We stood on that balcony on Fifth Avenue and we saw this Salesforce building.
Like, extra spending money on Salesforce. Yeah. Do you need
So they own that building as well?
Yeah, they own that building.
Yeah, so they're definitely not a cheap tool to own.
No. If you don't have big budgets, you don't have to own these huge tools in order to do all of this. As long as you've got an analytics tool for the where the campaigns are running. So Google Analytics is a great one for your website. If you're running Google ads, any of the social media ad platforms, they have their own analytics tools. That's enough. You've got the data there.
And then just noting those.
And then it's just about making sure that even if you're running the stuff through Google Sheets, there are a lot of plugins that you can add that are quite easy, and making sure that you're using UTM tracking. If you don't know about UTM tracking, we've got a blog somewhere on it, on the website. But UTMs basically are allowing you to track your different campaigns. So that's going to give you the actual attribution. So you're adding in that. It's just a URL that is. And there's websites where they build them for you. It's super
It's an air tagged URL.
It's basically an air tagged URL that is, that allows you to follow that. Obviously, if people are not using cookies, it's making it more difficult now. But then if you are using a CRM like HubSpot, etc., that's just going to make it a lot easier, because you're able to then get everything into one pipeline, where marketing and sales is able to work together. But it doesn't have to be, complicated. It can be quite simple. So start small, start with lightweight tools, but make sure everything is going into one place, that marketing and sales are both looking in the same place, so that you're able to tell that story cohesively. And then the fifth one and the final thing in terms of how to prove ROI is reporting in a dollar language, not marketing language. So we've touched on this a little bit, but executives, brokers, C-suite, they don't care about click-through rates. They don't care about impressions. They care about revenue. And if you aren't able to at least show them how marketing is affecting revenue, then they're not going to take you seriously. So instead of saying something like the campaign got 2,000 clicks, 500,000 impressions, and a 6% click-through rate, you want to be saying that the $2,000 that we spent on this campaign, it brought in 10 leads. Those 10 leads added $4 million to the pipeline, and we closed one deal that was worth $900,000.
Yeah.
That's what you want to show, because then leadership is like, okay, awesome. We spent $2,000. We got $900,000.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good return on investment.
Yeah. Leadership's also like, we are going after money. You helping contribute to money, therefore you have our worth. Like, we see the worth in you. Otherwise, you're getting cut.
And look, it sounds simple when you put it into these terms. You want to try and simplify it as much as possible. If you aren't generating leads to put into the pipeline, that's the first thing you need to address.
Yeah.
So how are you getting leads into that pipeline? We got a ton of videos and a ton of blogs on, generating leads, content types, how to go after the right audiences. All of that stuff contributes to how you're getting leads into your pipeline. This is very much around how once you've done all of that, how you show that ROI. And this is how we want to do it with those 5 things. Those are going to give you the best advantage in terms of helping leadership understand how marketing is contributing to revenue at the end of the day.
So in your opinion, what is the single biggest mind shift in marketers when it comes to proving return on investment?
I think that marketers, we need to start thinking more like sales and like brokers. Do you know what I mean? Stop thinking so much in marketing metrics that don't matter.
Yeah.
They matter to us because we need to understand how marketing is improving.
Yeah.
But they don't matter to a salesperson. They don't matter to a broker. They don't matter to the C-suite. We need to stop thinking so much in marketing terms, and we need to start thinking more in, how does this tie back to a deal? How does this tie back to money?
Yeah, I think
dollars.
end of the day, it's about deals. It's about closing deals. It's about moving the
It's
needle,
about revenue.
increasing revenue. And like we can think that like marketing, we're playing like this huge role. We need all the recognition, but like at the end of the day, it's going to be the people that are closing the deals.
Yeah. Like our mindset it shouldn't be about how we can make marketing look good.
Mm.
Our
Your results should.
Our mindset should be, how can we help these guys close more deals?
Because if they look good, we look good. Everything's fine.
Exactly. If we're giving them good leads and we're giving them a lot of good insights and value, and we're helping them understand their audience when they're moving into new areas or whatever it is, if marketing is able to give them all of that and make their jobs easier and better and able to close more, close faster, that's the mindset we need to take. Like, how can we do that for the sales team?
Yeah.
Because if they're doing that, if they're closing, all those things are happening, and we're able to attribute all of that to us, to the marketing teams, then everyone's going to win. You're going to get more budget. They're going to increase, marketing budgets. You're going to get another assistant. You're going to build your team. You're going to be able to you're going to have 5 people on your team now. 2 of them can do video content now.
Yeah.
Video content is going to help you, get more engagement and get the message out and get more people back to your landing page, which is going to get more,
get brokers in front of a camera, then they make new connections.
More leads come in.
Yeah.
So it's all about, you want to be increasing revenue for the company. That's your number one goal. But in doing that, leadership is going to see the value in that, and they're going to give you more money to do a better job.
Yeah.
And if you aren't able to do that, budgets are going to get cut. People are going to leave. So that's why proving ROI it's so incredibly important. And that's why so many people in the survey highlighted that as something that they want to understand more about. And how can they prove that and show it?
And then I guess like on the flip side, like if I was a broker, why should I care about return on investment, ROI frameworks?
So from the broker side, like the better marketing can prove their ROI, okay, it means that marketing is going to get more resources and more budget, and that is going to help fill the broker's pipeline. So that's so important. Like if you're a broker, you don't have to do everything on your own. You don't have to be out there cold calling every day, knocking on doors, using your little black book for everything.
You're getting better midfielders on your soccer team.
You're getting more midfielders, better midfielders. You're buying players from better teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're giving you better balls. They're giving you better access. So you want them to do well so that you can get more leads and you can close more. So it's a beautiful ecosystem when it starts to work together. It's like this really nice circle of life kind of idea where we're feeding you, you're feeding us.
Yeah.
We're both feeding the business. Everyone's eating. Everyone's happy.
Yeah.
But as soon as there's that breakdown, we can't show and prove our ROI. You're not getting the leads that you want. You're struggling to close.
Yeah.
The team's not happy with you. You get fired. Marketing budgets get cut, all because sales and marketing is not working together, and you're not able to attribute and prove the ROI.
Yeah.
So you can see how important this is.
Yeah. It's like in the world, like bees go extinct.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then
it's like exactly like it's a little thing like that.
Yeah.
It's like not proving ROI is like the bees going extinct. They can't pollinate the plants. The flowers don't grow. They don't get eaten by the sheep. The sheep die. We're all dead. We're all dead. Yeah. We become vegans.
And then like looking to the future of
ROI.
I mean, like, where do you think this is going? Like we're having like advancements in like tech and everything. Like what roles do you think all of this is going to play when it comes to proving return on investment?
I think AI is going to make a really big difference to everything. I don't know if it's. I was reading something the other day where someone was even saying like they don't even think that AI is going to solve the attribution model problem. But I think AI is just going to help so much in terms of showing return on investment for marketing.
Yeah.
I think with what AI is going to be able to do in the next, I don't want to even say 5 years, in the next couple of years, couple of months, it's obviously advancing so fast that all of the data that we're able to generate.
Because AI loves data.
AI feeds on data.
Yeah.
It scrapes that shit, loves it. And the more data we give it, the better decisions it's able to make, and the more help it's able to give us, and the more predictive analysis it's able to give us and show us the way forward and where we're making mistakes and what we should do to do better. So I think AI is just from a return on investment point of view is going to kind of light the way a little bit, show us new paths, how we can start attributing a little bit better, maybe. I don't know exactly where that's going to go, but
I think, and also just like helping us tell that story in a language that the C-suite understands, and like helps you get out of that rabbit hole.
And you can obviously use it to tell that story so nicely, but I think it's also going to help us do a lot of predicting of ROI. If we're throwing a ton of data in, if you've got a really well put together CRM system that's got, from awareness through to closed deals, through to, nurturing after that, through to brand advocacy. If you've got all of that data and you're able to put that all into an LLM or whatever it is, an AI, a GPT, it will be able to help predict what ROI will be if you're running a similar campaign. So you can go to the leadership and sales and brokers and say, hey, listen, guys, like we've been running this for 6 months. This is what we've brought in. We want to double budgets here.
Yeah.
This is what AI is predicting based on historical data that we've given it. So, let's see. I mean, who knows where it's going to go in 5 years' time? We could have robots with guns threatening people to sign leases. Who knows? And that's the way it's going to be. This podcast is geared towards marketers in commercial real estate. But if you're an owner of a company watching this, you want to make sure your marketing team is getting this right, because if you aren't marketing in the best way possible, and you aren't getting your tech platform out there to the right audiences, and they're not converting, and you're not getting your investment portfolio into the right channels, and no one's seeing it correctly, and no one's taking action on that, you're going to fall behind competitors who are doing it correctly and who are doing it right.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of time.
So you want to make sure that your team is accurately reporting on their return on investment, so the money that you're giving them. So it's going to become more crucial going forward because of all the noise out there. It's not easy, but it's important.
Yeah. Cool. That's it for today's episode. If you found it valuable, please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you in the next episode.
Lekker.
It's a classic. Always. Lekker.